Do you ever get scared? Sometimes when I get scared, I imagine all sorts of things. One time, Marion saw some dinosaurs and got very frightened. She thought they were chasing her. But then she found out they weren't real dinosaurs, and she wasn't afraid anymore. I also got scared when I thought I was going to see a real dragon in China. And I was really afraid. But it turned out to be something fun. It was just people dancing and carrying a big puppet dragon, and I loved it. Sometimes I get scared of things I don't need to be scared of. So next time you feel scared about something, talk to someone. And maybe it won't be so scary after all.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time. Learning new things is fun, but sometimes we all need a little bit of help to understand something new. When Dowager Hatt tried to run the railway, she kept on making mistakes and caused a lot of confusion and delay before Emily helped her learn which engines were the right ones for each job. Nia didn't know how to read numbers, so Annie and Clarabelle taught her. Nia is a very clever engine, and she learned very quickly. Sometimes everybody needs help, and everybody should be given the chance to learn new things. Maybe you'll learn something new today too. It could be reading or singing or learning about numbers, or even how to move a cow when she's blocking the line.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time. When Rebecca came to Sodor, she worried that the others were better than she was. Rebecca tried very hard to do her best, but I know that sometimes when I try too hard, I make mistakes. When I first came to Sodor, I left the station before I was coupled up to my coaches. And when Rebecca came to Sodor, she kept leaving earlier than she was supposed to. And soon, she was so early that passengers were missing their trains, and she was getting in the way. And that was a mistake. Being too early was not so useful after all. But it's okay to make mistakes. Everybody makes them. That's how you learn to do things better. Just like I did.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time. Have you ever played a game where you pretend something is real when it isn't? I like to use my imagination to pretend, but sometimes it's hard to know what is really true. One time, I imagined I had wings like an aeroplane so I could fly. But it was only pretend. I didn't really have wings. Merlin thinks that he can make himself disappear. But he can't really make himself invisible. It's only pretend. Sometimes it's important to know what's real and what's pretend. But playing make-believe games can still be fun.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time. Have you ever helped to look after an animal? Maybe you have a pet at home or at school in your classroom. Luke once found a little deer who was scared by all the noise at the quarry. So he brought it to a place that was safe and quiet. One winter, I brought some animals to Tidmouth Sheds to keep warm. All the engines helped. Even James warmed to the idea.
Here, chickie, chickie, chick. Come to Uncle James. Oh, how cute.
Looking after animals is important and can be fun. Think about the animals around you and what they need to be safe and happy. Maybe you can find a way to help.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time! Have you ever had to try a new way of doing something? It's not always an easy thing to get used to. One time, a whale got stranded on the beach, and Toad thought of a new way of getting her back into the water. Oliver thought it was a silly idea, but in the end, we all gave Toad's idea a try. And it worked! I'd been lifted back onto the rails by cranes loads of times, but I'd never been helped by an elephant. When I needed help getting back onto the tracks, I learned that elephants could be really useful too. Maybe you'll get a chance to discover a new way of doing something. Give it a try. You may be surprised.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time. How do you feel when you don't do something right the first time? Sometimes I get upset. The first time I pulled the troublesome trucks, they convinced me to go too fast, and I couldn't slow down. So I crashed. I felt very silly, but I didn't give up. I kept on pulling those trucks until I got much better at it. And when I was in China, I got upset when Yongbao told me I had stopped a runaway truck the wrong way. But then he taught me a better way. And with some practice, I learned the best way to stop a runaway truck. So, if you're learning something new and you don't get it right the first time, don't get upset. Just keep on trying.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time. Have you ever had to help an animal? Back on Sodor, my friends have often helped animals in need. Like when Philip had to stop Gordon because the sheep were in danger on the line. Or when Diesel helped a family of ducklings get back to their pond. In the rainforest, I wasn't very sensitive to the animals at first. I kept forgetting not to be too noisy and to move around carefully. But when the bushfire started, I helped to rescue them. I learned that animals should be protected and respected. After all, they share our home here on planet Earth. So if you're a duckling, a sheep, or a funny little bear, I mean a koala, don't worry. I'll always keep a place for you on my coaches.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time. Sometimes we throw things away that can still be really useful. Reg loves finding ways of reusing old scrap. One year, he even made himself a Christmas tree from scrap. And Duck is good at reusing things too. When the school at Harwick was damaged in a storm, Duck went looking for a coach to take the children to another school. He found poor Dexter abandoned on a siding. It was Duck's idea to turn the old coach into a classroom, which meant Dexter was really useful again. So before you decide to throw something away, stop and ask yourself, what would Reg do? And see if it could be repaired, recycled, or reused.
Come on, Thomas!
It's time to go.
See you next time!